paid rent to my parents since I was 18, even through college. Then my golden child brother moved back in rent-free with his wife and kids. Suddenly, my mom asked me to pay more. What she said next left me speechless. I've been paying rent to my parents since I turned 18, even through college. I always felt it was the right thing to do, contributing my share. But then my golden child brother, who's never paid a dime for anything, moves back in with his wife and 2 kids. Suddenly, my mom calls me asking for more rent. You won't believe what she said next. Okay, let me set the scene for you guys. My name's Ethan, and for as long as I can remember, I've been the responsible one in my family, you know, the type who gets good grades, stays out of trouble, the kind of kid parents love to brag about at family gatherings. But somehow, they overlook me when it comes to actual affection. My brother Mark, oh, he's the golden child in every sense of the word, charming, charismatic, and perpetually irresponsible. He sailed through life, breaking hearts, racking up debt, and generally leaving a trail of chaos behind him. Yet somehow, he always lands on his feet, usually with my parents rushing in to cushion his fall. From the time we were kids, it was always like this. Mark could do no wrong. If he broke a lamp, it was an accident. If I so much as left a glass on the coffee table without a coaster, I'd get the 3rd degree. It was baffling, honestly, like we were living in completely different realities judged by completely different sets of rules. When I turned 18 and started community college, my parents sat me down for a responsible adult talk. It was all about teaching me the value of money, becoming independent, all that good stuff. So, we worked out an arrangement. I'd pay $600 a month in rent. Now, I was working part-time at the local grocery store, bagging groceries and stocking shelves on top of classes. $600 was a hefty chunk of my paycheck, believe me, but I did it every single month, rain or shine. I handed over that rent money. Did Mark pay rent when he was living at home? Nope, not a penny. He was figuring things out, you see, always figuring things out but never quite figuring out how to, pay for anything. Fast forward a few years. I'm 24 now, working full-time as a junior programmer after grinding my way through college. I'm still living at home partly because rent is insane everywhere else, and partly because, well, honestly, a small part of me still hopes to maybe, just maybe, earn some actual parental approval. Stupid, I know, but hope dies last, right? I was still paying my $600 a month, no complaints. It was the deal, and I stick to my deals. I even helped out with groceries sometimes, pitched in for the occasional household repair. I was pulling my weight, maybe even more. Then, bam. The bomb drops. Mark calls my parents, all dramatic and woe is me. Turns out his latest brilliant business venture, something to do with cryptocurrency, naturally, had imploded spectacularly. Who could have seen that coming, right? Sarcasm intended, obviously. Anyway, he and his wife, Sarah, and their 2 kids, 8-year-old Chloe and 5-year-old Leo, were between homes. Translation, they were broke and had nowhere else to go. My parents, with their eternally enabling hearts, immediately offered for them to move back in. Just temporarily, of course, famous last words. I knew the second I heard about it that temporary in Mark time meant until the heat death of the universe. The move-in was chaotic, to put it mildly. Suddenly, our quiet, reasonably tidy house was transformed into a whirlwind of noise, toys, and general disarray. Chloe and Leo, as they are well, kids, loud, energetic kids. Sarah, Mark's wife, seemed perpetually stressed and overwhelmed, and Mark just kind of floated around, acting like nothing was wrong, cracking jokes, and somehow managing to make even more messes. Life became complicated. The bathroom was always occupied, the kitchen was perpetually sticky, and my meticulously organized work-from-home setup in the spare bedroom was constantly being invaded by rogue toys and demands for snacks. Peace and quiet became a distant memory, like something I'd read about in a history book. And then, the cherry on top of this already overflowing sundae of family dysfunction, Mom calls me into the living room one evening, all serious and somber. Dad's there too, looking like he'd rather be anywhere else on the planet. Mark and Sarah are conveniently absent, probably hiding out in their old bedroom, which they'd somehow managed to claim as their own within approximately 5 minutes of arriving. Ethan, Mom starts, her voice taking on that particular tone she uses right before she asks for something unreasonable. We need to talk about the household expenses. Here we go, I thought, bracing myself. With Mark and his family here, she continued, things are tighter than expected. No kidding, Mom, I thought, but kept my mouth shut. The grocery bills have gone up, the electricity bill, water, everything. It's just a lot, she sighed dramatically, as if personally burdened by the weight of feeding her own son and grandkids, whom she invited in, mind you. So, she finally gets to the point, we were thinking maybe you could contribute a little more to the rent. I blinked once, twice. Did I hear her right? Wait, I said, trying to keep my voice level. You want me to pay more rent, even though Mark and his family are living here now? Mom's face tightened, that familiar pinched look that usually precedes a lecture on family duty and my inherent selfishness. It's not rent, Ethan, she said, her voice laced with a familiar blend of guilt and disapproval. It's family. We're helping them get back on their feet. And I'm not family? I asked, the question escaping my lips before I could fully process it. It sounded pathetic even to my own ears, but honestly, that's how it felt, like I was some sort of lodger, a paying guest, while Mark and his family were the actual residents, the ones deserving of care and support, no questions asked. Dad cleared his throat, finally entering the conversation. Ethan, he said in that calm, reasonable voice he uses when he's about to deliver some completely unreasonable demand, your mother is right. Mark is going through a tough time. We need to support him. And how am I supposed to support him by paying more rent? I asked, my voice starting to rise. He's the one who lost all his money in some get-rich-quick scheme. He's the one with 2 kids to feed. Why am I being penalized for his mistakes? Mom's eyes narrowed. Don't you dare talk about your brother like that, Ethan, she snapped. He's family, and family helps family. There it was again, that mantra, family helps family. Except, apparently, that only applied in one direction. So, what exactly do you want me to pay? I asked, the question heavy with sarcasm. Double? Triple? Should I just hand over my entire paycheck to cover for Mark's temporary financial difficulties? Don't be ridiculous, Ethan, Mom said, waving her hand decisively. We were thinking an extra $300 a month should cover it. $300 on top of the $600 I was already paying, $900 a month for a room in my parents' house, now overflowing with chaos and sticky fingerprints. $900 a month while my golden child brother and his entire family live there for free. Something inside me just snapped. Years of simmering resentment, years of feeling like the overlooked, underappreciated son, years of watching Mark get away with everything while I shouldered responsibility, all of it just boiled over. You know what, Mom? I said, my voice surprisingly calm even as my insides were churning with anger. You know what? You're right. Family does help family. Mom beamed, actually beamed, like she thought she was winning. That's my boy, she said, reaching out to pat my hand. I pulled my hand away. Yeah, I continued, my voice hardening. Family helps family. And you know what else family does, Mom? Family doesn't take advantage. You can click on share and more to see if there is a part 2.